We're at the clinic today because our baby girl Jude was diagnosed through ultrasound that she had club feet. We're trying to go a route that seemed to be successful without being so, I don't know, scary. Surgery's so scary for little ones.
This is little Jude.
Yes.
Pretty little girl.
I'm Jen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Well, I'm Dr. Ignacio Ponseti, and in the past 10, 15 years I have taken care exclusively of babies with congenital clubfoot.
Clubfoot is the most common birth defect, affecting 1 in 750 children. If clubfoot is left untreated, it is one of the leading causes of disability in developing countries.
It develops in the middle of pregnancy, in 16, 18 weeks of pregnancy. And when the child is born, the foot deformity can be brought back to where it was at 16 or 18 weeks of pregnancy, and very easily.
The Ponseti method has been practiced here at the University of Iowa for 60 years, since Dr. Ponseti established the method in the 50s. Clubfoot is a deformity in which the whole foot is turned in at birth. As shown in this model, the Ponseti method consists on gentle stretching of tendons and ligaments and then placing the foot in a cast in that correct position.
Finger here behind. Take it.
Yep.
Okay.
About 2 or 3.
We change the cast every 4 to 7 days, and with each cast change, you gain a little bit at a time. If you start the treatment in a newborn and you change the cast every 4 days, the treatment lasts for about 2.5 to 3 weeks, and the foot is fully corrected. And what's more important, it will be fully corrected for the life of the patient.
We didn't know until he was born that he had club feet, and the doctors had told us that it was something that could be easily corrected. It was nothing major. And so when he was 4 days old, we went to a specialist, an orthopedic surgeon.
Surgery is not a solution for clubfoot. Based on long-term follow-up studies, it has been found that the results can be very bad.
We weren't, too excited about putting him through another surgery, and once I had talked to the other parents on the website, and they just said, before you go schedule another surgery, just contact Dr. Ponseti.
But everybody now, every surgeon, orthopedic surgeon who sees patients treated surgically knows that this is not the way to go, that the feet are very stiff and they are very weak and they are very painful. They developed osteoarthritis early, about 20, 25 years of age, and so the patients are really crippled.
Almost halfway there, sweetie.
The parents are very, very important in the treatment of this deformity because it is so visual.
We came in to see Dr. Ponseti, and they applied the first set of casts that day, and then I believe they took them off about a week later. And at that moment, I knew that this was right.
He's doing very well. He has, he's walking, running.
The method requires in many patients clipping of the heel cord to allow full correction of the deformity. The patient is then placed in a cast for 2.5 weeks, and after that in a brace, which is essential to prevent relapses.
This is the brace developed by John Mitchell, which is very comfortable to the babies because it's soft. And there are 3 straps here to hold the foot in place, and the foot is turned out, you see.
When they first get into the brace, they will be in the brace for 23 hours a day, 2 to 3 months. After 3 months, they'll just be in them for nap time and bedtime only. They're used to just kicking one leg at a time, but this way they learn that they can do both.
knowing she had bilateral club feet. And my husband and I knew it would be a bit of a challenge to find treatment for her, because in America, most children are treated right after birth for their club feet, whereas with Allison, she was almost 3 years old. After we brought Allison home, we took her for our first appointment, and he looked her over and felt that her case was severe. He said he is so concerned about the severity of her case, he is not very confident that the surgeries are going to take care of things the way that they should, and feels that she may end up being an amputation case even after all the treatment we have planned for her. I just figured the method was named after Dr. Ponseti, and I went ahead and looked up this phone number and called him. We got our airline tickets, and 4 days later my son, my daughter, and I flew out, and we set out for Iowa. It was like watching this miracle unfold, one cast change at a time. Every time they took a cast off, you know, her foot was in a different position, moving closer and closer to that goal of where we wanted it. And it was so incredible to see.
She loves going for bike rides. Look at you!
My name is Amila Maslin, and I'm from Bosnia, Sarajevo. I was very surprised actually, because always when I did write club feet in the Google, and then the first thing was Ponseti.
And there are now, what, 250 or 300 families in the internet talking to each other, and talking to new parents with babies, with new babies with a deformity, and telling them not to let the doctor operate, and telling them to go and find a doctor who follows them, who learns and who has learned my treatment and does it well.
In our country, they don't do it good. The treatment of club feet, they don't know a lot about this. The baby didn't cry. It was the first time, because at home she always screamed.
We have two doctors from Australia today.
Hi.
You don't mind
I'm very well, thank you.
We use that because to open the subtilis joint.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Jeff Donald. I'm the Director of Orthopaedics at the Royal Children's Hospital in Brisbane, Australia. And the reason that we've come to Iowa is to work with Dr. Ponseti and to credential ourselves in the use of the method.
Then I can mould
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
And mould here.
Yes.
It's just absolutely brilliant to think that the child is going to have a relatively normal foot for the rest of their life without any surgical intervention.
Hopefully within the near future, all clubfoot surgery will stop within Australia.
We feel really blessed to be at the Ronald McDonald House. In our initial treatment, we did stay at a hotel for a few days before there was room here. It was just very isolating, and so when we came to the Ronald McDonald House, it was really nice to be able to see there are other families that have children with club feet, and to just talk about where we were in the process. In our situation, we have a room, we have a kitchen and beds, and there's toys and television.
You know, the flights here were quite expensive, and I know there have been people that have come here from, other countries, so that has to really be expensive. So just to know you have a place like this, and I mean, everyone has been, I was telling Julie yesterday, everyone we've encountered has been so friendly and nice.
It is a great pleasure for me to see this technique spread, not only to areas of highly civilized, but even to areas where the facilities are less available, like in Africa, where the physician assistants can be taught this technique very easily. There is a great success that Dr. Pinney had in establishing this treatment in Uganda.
There's thousands upon thousands of children walking around in the villages on the top of their feet because they never got care.
Most of East Africa, and now West Africa, is being influenced by this technique, so that, and in India as well, so that many children in these countries had to walk on the dorsum of the foot. So these children now are safe into a normal existence.
The mission of the Ponseti International Association is to improve the treatment of children suffering from the crippling deformity of clubfoot through education, research, and improved access to care. Over the last few years, we have developed the International Clubfoot Project. Reports from different countries demonstrate that the technique is very successful. In the United States, we have a 99% correction rate, Malawi 98%, Brazil 94%, Turkey 95%, India 100%, Israel 97%. It is our hope that we can transfer these same results to many other countries. We are working in partnership with different organizations, including World Health Organization, CBM, Cure International, Aga Khan Hospitals, STEPS, and many others to develop an international program to eradicate neglected clubfoot around the world.
We went from crying to hoping, from hoping to happiness. Now we don't see this as a problem. We just see this as a small obstacle. And that's the most important thing that we need to convey to every other parent around the world. This is not something that is going to preclude your child to have a normal life.
It's really sad because there's doctors out there that are still using old techniques and techniques that are not nearly as successful. And this is, it's like a miracle.
Whenever we meet families here that have little babies, it's nice to show them how well it turns out.
Okay.
Whoa!
There you go.
Whoa! Look at it.
Here, place
Look
a
at
piece in here to throw out.
It is really gratifying to see the change and to see the happiness of the family, and most importantly, to know that this kid is going to have a fulfilling life without any limitations. Kids will be able to play, run, bike, and do actually any kind of sports as they grow up.
Dr. Ponseti thinks that he's going to be absolutely normal, so I have faith in him.
We thank Dr. Ponseti so much for the miracle he's created for our daughter and for the miracle he's creating for all these children around the world. We love him dearly, and he will be forever in our hearts.